All of these controllers here on the desk offer me almost exactly what I need. See, with the T15, we've got a colour touchscreen, and with that colour touchscreen, I can make some very nice visuals for you guys, so that when the stick camera's on, you've got something really nice to look at. The V14 from Hello Radio is a brilliant controller, but it doesn't have that colour touchscreen in it. However, it's got the nicest gimbals, and it feels the nicest in the hand. The FlySky PR01 Pro Art controller is a brilliant small controller for when you're out with a tiny whoop, or a smaller class of drone, or you just want to stay light, but it only has 500 milliwatts of TX power. With every one of these, when somebody says to me, what's the best controller? There has to be a compromise, and the whole controller sphere now is getting quite convoluted and quite confusing. However, one of the biggest problems, or one of the biggest considerations when buying a controller, is how good the TX link is on Crossfire. How much power is it outputting? Does it have dual band? None of these do, until now. Let me show you. This is the LINKFLOW from GEPRC, a dual band module to plug into the back of your JR bay on your controller in 915 and 2.4 MHz. Let's open it up and have a quick look at the unboxing experience first of all. So you've got your dual band antenna. Obviously the long one's for 915 and the short one is for 2.4. You've got the LINKFLOW unit itself there. This we'll have a look in closer detail at this shortly. And then in here you have got some instructions. You've got I guess that's a filter for the fan. That if you want to flash it in a certain way and do certain things with it, a couple of warranty cards, and here is the instruction manual. So let's take a quick look through this. So it tells us obviously the firmware it's using, it tells us the two bands that it's got. It's a dual band TX module. Output power is officially 1 milliwatt, but we'll talk about that more in a second. It'll accept external power up to 6S, and it weighs about 60 grams, give or take. You've got an RGB fan in there, and the RGB fan actually tells you information about what is happening as well. So it basically explains here, green heartbeat is the web update mode enabled, so on and so forth. And then you've got your basic setup in your ELRS Lua script. Again, we'll take a closer look at this shortly. But it says open up your Edge TX remote, put it in the external bay, and then and it has an external port on it as well, which is a full UART. And what you can do with that is you can actually connect it to an external module that doesn't necessarily have a JR bay. So we're not going to do that on this particular video, but the option is there and available to you. So let's, before we switch lenses and get a little bit closer and a little bit more intimate with this, let's first of all just put it all together and plug it in to the TX. Now I've removed the back from this already, so it literally just goes in the JR bay like this. Just be sure to make sure that you line those pins up before you push it down, and you can see now the fan kicked in for a second and the lights are on. And if we just very quickly go to our ExpressLRS Lua script, it's bringing up all of our details there. Now, stay with us because there is actually a way to update this to 2 watts of power. GEPRC don't officially list it as 2 watts of power due to regulatory issues. I think we all know what that means. So stick with us because you will have to do a manual update on it. But that's what we're here for, and we'll show you exactly how to do it. We'll show you how to update it as well, and we'll show you what it is all about. Now, for anybody who has been paying attention, I have been flying this week, so if you look at some of the shorts, you will actually see in some of the shorts this antenna here. So I always leave Easter eggs in my videos. Right, let's change this lens, turn on the PC, and have a look a little bit closer. Once you've plugged it in, what you then need to do is hit your model button, and you're going to need to turn off your internal Crossfire or ELRS or whatever it is that you're using, and you're going to need to go to the external one and you're going to need to turn that to Crossfire. You can hear the fan kicking on the back there, just showing that it's powered and ready to go. Then we're going to move into our Lua script, go to your system button here and go to your ExpressLRS Lua script. Here, it tells you here in this this left-hand corner, sorry, GEPRC Dual-Band transmitter. Then you can obviously change all the settings down here. You can change what you're on. So we're on 2.4 there. We can change to low band, full wideband, low band. So there are lots of different options that you could choose. I'm actually going to leave it at 150 for now. And then you can come down here and you can check the power and it'll go up to 1000 watts. And down here you've got obviously your backpack, you've got your BLE joystick, you've got your Wi-Fi connectivity, and you have got your bind button. Okay, so that's the relatively simple setup out of the way. But as I said, this actually goes up to 2 watts. And what I showed you before is it only goes up to 1 watt. Now it does only go up to 2 watts on the low band, on the 900 band. But obviously if you are flying long range, you are going to be using this particular band, aren't you? So if we now go to our power, it only goes to 1000 watts. There is a little thing that we can do. Let me show you. GEPRC sent me this file. Now I'm going to upload this to my Discord, although I'm sure it'll be on GEPRC's website anyway. We're just going to drag it to the desktop. And in it, we have got some documentation. Let's have a quick look at it, because I've not read any of this, obviously. So it tells me... Okay. Brilliant. I'll refer back to that if I need it. And we've got the firmware package in here. We're going to do it via USB. I have never done this, so this could go very, very wrong before it's even been released. First thing is first, then we need to get a USB cable, and on the bottom of the LINKFLOW there, just plug it in to the USB. That will then power it up. And we are now going to open up this program, which is the MCU flasher. And we're just going to refer back to this image that GEPRC sent us. So we need to set it to, where is that gone? We need to set it to this. And then we need to select a serial port. So if we hit reload, we've got serial port 31. So that'll be it. It needs to be a COM port, so that'll be it. And then we've got the firmware in here, and we're going to do it via the USB. Now, there's a few different ones in here. So you can have the TX as an RX. You can actually have it in relay mode. So you can have a few of these, or you can set 915 to 2 milliwatt. Now, officially, it's not going to set to 2 milliwatt, but that is what it's going to be. And hit flash. The fan is moving so fast that it's possibly going to take off like a drone. Okay, so it tells us now, firmware successfully flashed, unplug, replug and reset. So let me just do that because it's very loud. So if we now plug this back into here. Now, if we go to our TX power now, it should give us up to 2000. There we go. So we've now got 2 watt output power. Let me just turn that back down so the fan isn't on. Now, as I say, the update files do allow you to run it as a relay. As hobbyists, that's not really something that we're going to be doing. And that's going to be more served for other use case scenarios. Ones that I'm not even going to mention because I believe that keeping the hobby away from that sort of thing is the only way to protect it. And it's very naive of me, I know, because, you know, these are governments that are buying these and they've got far more buying power than you and I will ever have. But I'm a man of my morals and that's what I'm going to stand on. So the relay, some people in the hobby may use it and it's there as an option for you, but I'm not going to cover it for that very reason. And using the TX as an RX isn't really something I don't think that as a hobbyist we're going to use, but let me know in the comments down below if I'm completely wrong. I'm more than happy to hear it. However, one thing I think a lot of people in the hobby will do is use that higher output power. Now, just to cover myself, please do make sure that if you are using that higher output power, wherever you live in the world, that it's legal to do so. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And that's it. That's the whole thing set up. So what we'll do now is we will have a look at how to update it. And as I say, it also runs. If I just show you this a second, you can put up to a 6S battery in here. Now, I might have a battery on here. That is now powered on using just the battery alone. And this could be useful for you guys who are running something like a Zorro or something that doesn't have a great deal of oomph when it comes to power in the actual TX itself. And you might not be getting enough power through to get the full power output from this. So if you don't want your if you don't want your controller batteries to die too quickly and you want the full power, you might consider using an external XT30 battery. But for now, the next job is to go back over to the PC, plug this thing in to ExpressLRS, add ourselves a bind phrase and update the ELRS. So first things first is you plug your USB into the LINKFLOW there. Just a bit, I know it's not perfectly in focus because of how we're doing it. And we can get rid of all this now. So we've done this. We can save these files. There is also a Wi-Fi update guide. You do that in exactly the same way you would update any ELRS Wi-Fi, and I've got videos on the channel if you need them. So without further ado, what we need to do now, he says, scanning around, is open up the ExpressLRS configurator. Now, in our drop down, we are going to want GEPRC first of all, and we want GEPRC Dual-Band, and then in here we want GEPRC LINKFLOW 9 2.4. If you're coming from an older version, you may need to update your Lua script. If you're on version 3, then you don't need to. Now, again, depending where you are in the world, depends on which one of these you want to select. In the whole of Europe, LBT is the standard, and that should be selected, but I'm not going to select that for this video, just for the sake of demonstration, because the majority of the people that are watching this will be from other territories. Well covered. And then 868 is what we use in Europe when it comes to the 900 megahertz band. The FCC is 915, and a lot of people will just use 915 regardless of where you are. But just bear in mind that could potentially cause problems. My advice is use 868 if you are in Europe. Add a binding phrase, because that means whenever you turn it on and whenever you turn a drone on, it'll just automatically connect. Select in here a COM port, and it's only showing us one, and hit flash. And we can hear the fans kicked in the back. You may not be able to hear that on this microphone, but it's quite loud, so there is a possibility that you can. And that's it. You've done. You've flashed it. Away you go. You could also add in your Wi-Fi automatically here, so automatically can connect to your Wi-Fi without having to do like a Wi-Fi hotspot. If you want a video on that, let me know and I will do that. But that is it. We've updated it. So we've changed the output power to 2 milliwatt, which is not legal in the UK, officer, so I won't be using it. However, I've shown you guys how to do it if you are in territories that will allow you to. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this recording in case anybody wants it, but you can skip past it if you don't. Let me make sure this is connected now. It has. Okay, so let us go to. This is a Beta FPV Air 75. I think it's the Nano. We'll find out. If it's wrong, it's wrong. It'll tell us. We'll leave the same bind phrase in here, and we'll leave it at 2.4 standard, just because that's how I'm going to show you guys how to do it, not because that's what I use, obviously. We're going to hit flash. Okay, so now obviously we're flashing. We just need to wait a second for it to completely flash, and it will flash that bind phrase onto the ELRS receiver, which means when we turn the controller on and the drone on, we never have to bind it. We never have to go through that bind rigmarole ever again in our lives. So if I just turn the camera on now, I'm not even going to unplug it from the PC. And that's it. It comes straight on, and it is as simple as that. And I'd advise that you add a bind phrase to either the LINKFLOW or whatever it is that you have, so that whenever you get a new quad, you can just go through that bind flashing procedure like I've just shown you there. It takes 30 seconds. Add your bind phrase. It'll be saved by the configurator anyway, and it'll flash it to your new quad, and then you never have to go through the whole rigmarole of either, you know, unplugging and plugging in 3 times, or, you know, finding a PC and plugging it into a PC, or whatever it is that you have to do. However you have to do it, it is as simple and as straightforward as that. Was our look then at the new GEPRC LINKFLOW TX module. It comes as a standard JR Bay module that can increase your controller from single band 250 milliwatt ELRS 2.4 GHz to dual band 2 watt ELRS. It can also work as a relay and as an RX as well as a TX. Now, GEPRC did send this to me free of charge. There was no talking points. They didn't expect me to do or say anything with it. They just said, would you like to have a look at it? And maybe if you like it, make a video. So I've used it for a week. I like it. It's going to stay in my radio because it gives me that extra options. I've got 900MHz quads. I've got 2.4MHz quads. I've got some controllers that don't go up to 1 watt. And it's, I think, brilliant because it brings together now, like I said at the start of this, the whole controller situation in FPV has become quite convoluted. So what generally is happening nowadays is people are asking, what is the best controller for me? And the simple and honest answer is the one that has the features that's best suited to you and the ergonomics. Now, for me, sometimes that can be a one that doesn't have a colour touchscreen, but I'd prefer a colour touchscreen. Sometimes I might need something with 900MHz and I might need something with 2.4GHz and I might need it on the same day. So I might have to find another module, take 2 modules or even 2 controllers out with me. And that, pardon the pun, disrupts the flow of you flying if you're switching modules or even switching controllers. What this allows you to do is to control all of the fleet that you've got up to a really high power, as well as those additional features that it offers. And if there is anybody in the hobby that would use them, they are there for you to use. So that's it. If you think, I want this controller, but actually I wish it had dual band in it, or I want this controller, but it doesn't have a full 1 watt 2.4GHz in it, and I wish it did, then something like this might well be worth you considering. Now, there is going to be a link in the description down below. It will be an affiliate link, and it's up to yourselves whether you use it or not. It is totally cool by me either way. If you are interested in buying one though, I would ask that you do use it because it means that GEPRC will send us more cool stuff like this that I can bring you on the day of release and give you our honest, unfiltered thoughts and reviews on. Ultimately, from my point of view, it's something that's going to save time, effort and hassle. So it's going to stay in the back of whatever controller I'm using. I generally tend to switch controllers quite a lot. It's not a magic bullet, but it will help and it will make life a lot easier for a lot of pilots. So in all honesty, like I say, it's going to stay in the back of whichever controller I'm using. And then again, the really easy thing is because you've put the bind phrase onto the module, if you move controllers, you don't have to do anything. You just plug it in and you're all bound up and away you go as well. So again, it makes life easier moving between different quads. But there'll be a link in the description down below. And like I say, if you're interested, consider picking one up by using that link. And if you're not interested, that's cool. Maybe the next video will grab your attention. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I'll catch you on the next one.
YouTube and I have had a chat, and we believe that this is the video that you'll like the most. So watch it and let me know if they're right.